Welcome to First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy podcast. I'm your host, James Gardner, certified athletic therapist, certified strength and conditioning specialist, yoga instructor, human being. This platform, for the pros, by the pros, anybody in the performance space, and beyond. Welcome here to share in the stories of professionals, experiences, journeys, learning along the way. It's a platform to connect, to network, and to be a part of a community that cares, with conversations that matter, experiences that resonate, and generate ideas, thought-provoking, organic dialogue, passionate pros. Brought to you as always by First Star Therapy, Mobility Tape, Epic, and Benchmark Athletics. In association with the Canadian Athletic Therapists Association. It's First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy podcast. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being a part of it. Welcome back to Let's Chat, an athletic therapy podcast. Again, the official podcast of WFAT, the World Federation of Athletic Training and Therapy. Our most important and special guest to date here on our podcast. He's here in the room with me. He spent his entire life in the athletic therapy profession, believe it or not, and he's going to provide us with some insight as to what it means to take on a life of athletic therapy. So I'll leave it to you. This is your first ever podcast and a whole life being exposed to athletic therapy. So introduce yourself to our audience, say hello, and we'll start the conversation when you're ready.
Hello, my name is Gardner.
All right. How old are you?
7.
7 years old. And I said that you've spent your whole life in athletic therapy, not working necessarily, but dad's an athletic therapist. Right?
Yep.
So what does that mean to you when somebody says athletic therapist? What does that job mean? What does your dad do? What do people do that are athletic therapists?
Well, I think they help sports players, and if they're hurt, they go onto the field and help them.
Okay, how do they help them?
I don't know. When my dad was working for, you were working for the Vancouver Whitecaps, you brought out water bottles and stuff.
Water's important. Hydration's important for sure.
Yep.
Now, we have some other people around that aren't necessarily athletes, but athletic therapists can still help them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how would they do that? What have you seen your dad do? What have you seen other athletic therapists do to help athletes? You mentioned bring water on the field for sure. You said help them when they're hurt. How do they help people when they're hurt?
I can't really see close up because I'm always in the stands, so I don't really know.
Okay, perfect. But they help them in ways of giving them education?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Potentially giving them some exercises to do?
Yes.
And you've heard the term rehab, like returning from injury?
Yep.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that you've seen from a distance and in the stands.
Yep.
So part of what we do as athletic therapists is we have pretty cool lives when we get exposed to professional sports and athletes playing different sports. Yep. What are some experiences you've had as the kiddo of an athletic therapist to date? Some of your favorite memories?
Well, I got to put water bottles and Gatorade in the fridge.
Okay.
For the lacrosse players.
Okay.
And I got to stack up all the tape.
Yeah,
and
nice.
Refill all the water bottles.
Beautiful.
In Vancouver.
Okay, so there's a lot of what we call preparation before the players get there, or the athletes get there. I remember I was there. Mm-hmm. You've helped in a professional soccer setting.
Yeah.
And you've helped in a professional lacrosse setting. Mm-hmm. You've been in the gym and the facility when a bunch of hockey players have been training, different hockey players. What else have you got to see or do in the life of an athletic therapist, as the kiddo of an athletic therapist? What are some of the cool experiences? You mentioned you got to help prepare. Where have you got to go?
I got to go on the field for O Canada in the Vancouver Whitecaps game, the championship.
The Canadian Championship last year with the Whitecaps against
Yep. Toronto.
Toronto FC. Beautiful. And that was something that nobody has ever done before. And so for me as an athletic therapist, for us in this profession, we have opportunities that a lot of other people don't. And I think one of the things that I have learned to embrace is to lean into the role of an athletic therapist by encompassing family life, to try and create that balance where now that you're of an age, you're 7, so when you're 6, and when you're 2 and 3 you weren't on the field, but when you're 6 and 7 you're now around and you get to see the environment a little bit and see some really cool places.
Wait, does that mean I made history because no one's ever done it?
You made history with the Whitecaps. You were the first ever therapist kid to be on the sideline for O Canada. Absolutely. Beautiful. So famous. Okay, cool. So you got to be on the field for O Canada during a Canadian Championship soccer match. Okay. I think there was a time you got to hold a trophy.
Oh yeah.
What trophy did you get to hold?
Stanley Cup.
Amazing. Do you remember who that guy was that you got to meet? Anthony someone. We won't give you the secrets, but a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. You had the opportunity to watch him work out.
Yep.
I remember we taped your wrist to match the tape that he had on his wrist while he was working out that day in the gym. And then we went out and you got to hold or touch the Stanley Cup and be in some pictures, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. So we've mentioned a couple things. You get to see some cool things. You get to help set up and prepare. Let's talk a little bit about what it's like for dad's job, or in the case of some of our listeners, mom or sister or cousin. Like, it takes a lot to be an athletic therapist, right? Like, from year 7, what are some of the hard parts about having a parent or somebody that you are close to be in the field of athletic therapy? What's difficult for you?
Well, they're kind of always away, and I don't get to see them much, and it's only when they have a day off that I get to see them. I only get to see you after school on weekdays, and I don't get to see you in the morning. I have to wake up early if I want to see you in the morning. I always wake up at 7, so I don't get to see you.
Okay, so timing and lifestyle and balance, we have to take those off days and the other opportunities we have to make, right? So for example, every chance that I have now that you're old enough, we like to try and get you exposure to the sport, right? You've been out to with the lacrosse team at the pro level, soccer team at the pro level, but it's not easy, is it, being apart, being, having lots of time away. Long hours go into this. So what's important, I think it's really important to hear this from you, being 7, or somebody who's not in the profession, but exposed to the profession because dad's doing it all the time. It's hard. So what are the things that help you at home to know that's the job that dad does, but we're okay?
Yeah, mom makes my lunch. She helps me with stuff. She helps me get ready for school, and I know that you're gonna come home after school, so I know that I'm gonna see you unless you get stuck in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna see you on the weekends unless you have to go to Halifax.
Right. So there's a lot of travel and there's a lot of give and take, and there's a lot of, other considerations when you're working in professional sport and when you're working as a therapist, where you're dedicating a lot of time to helping other people, helping athletes, helping other humans with injury or recovery from injury. It takes dedication to be away. It also takes hard work on the home front to make things work for a guy like you, right? Yeah. So I know we talked about this when we were away last weekend. Is it okay to talk about gratitude and being grateful? Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I think that's something that we're leaning into as practitioners a little bit more, and maybe in the time that we're in 2023, gratitude and gratefulness within our profession. I am wholly grateful for the opportunities that I've had, some that I've earned, some that I've carved or created, and others that have been in the right place at the right time. And now I am very grateful to have the opportunity to have you beside me sometimes when we're working. What are some of the things, again, you mentioned like being on the field and traveling a little bit to some different places. What are some of the things that you think athletic therapy creates for you? Do you get to learn some of the things like Dad does or other people in the profession do?
Yeah, I do, because like I know how to tape ankles.
Do you really?
Well, I forget, but
Taping ankles is a big one,
yeah,
but you've seen it.
yes.
Okay. All right. How about healthy lifestyles, like how to train, how to eat a little bit better?
Yeah, I don't know those.
You don't know those yet, but you hear about them regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear about them at home, we hear about them in the job, we hear about them when we're watching sports and all of those things.
Yeah.
All right. So if you had to talk to our audience like you are right now, and you had to
Yeah.
say the three best things about living with an athletic therapist on the spot, can you think of three things that are pretty cool to be around an athletic therapist?
Well, if I'm hurt, you help me. That's one. I get to go on trips sometimes. That's two. And I get really cool seats at the games.
This is
That's
true.
three.
This is true. These are three pretty good things. And when it comes to gratitude, are those things that you appreciate? Like those are things that not a lot of kids have, right? So like
Yeah.
exposure to, do you recognize that now?
Yep.
What do you recognize about that? That those are
I should be grateful for it because not many people get to do it.
Yeah, and so utilizing the profession for the things to make our relationships better in other areas as well. So
Yeah.
we're talking today with my son, our son, and he is 7, almost 8 now, going into March.
Yep.
And you've had some exposure to some really cool things. You've had opportunities to travel. You've had opportunities to be on the field. You've had opportunities to meet and see a lot of really cool athletes, right? And working out and training.
Yep.
So when you go into those settings, what's that like for you? When you go into the gym, for example, and you're seeing athletes work, like what do you think about when you're watching those athletes move and work out?
I'm thinking in my head, wow, they must be good at playing sports.
Okay. And when you watch them move with weight, or you watch them jump or run or do some of those things, do you ever feel like I want to try that, or they must have to work really hard? Maybe I could try working hard at that.
Yep.
Yeah. So
sometimes like I want to throw a lacrosse stick for like really far, for example.
the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And so getting exposure to some of those sports and watching people do it at a very high level can be what we call inspirational, right? So sport inspires you a little bit. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. How about in the gym? What's the coolest thing you've seen when you've watched somebody training in the gym?
I've watched someone lift like 150 pounds.
This is a lot of weight. Okay, how about on the field? You've seen lacrosse?
Yeah.
And soccer up close.
Yeah.
Lacrosse. What did you see?
Oh yeah.
It was the craziest thing you've seen at lacrosse.
Oh yeah. Okay. So versus the New York Riptide, I think the Riptide just covered one of the Halifax players' eyeballs, and then he just threw it behind him, and it went in the net.
Unbelievable. So behind the back shot while his eyes were covered.
Yeah.
So this is pretty cool. When we're watching sports, a lot of cool things happen. How about in soccer? I know that you've tried dribbling, you've tried kicking, but you've seen those guys hit the ball pretty far across the field, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the craziest thing you saw in soccer? Or the most impressive thing?
Well, can I talk about the World Cup?
Yeah.
Yay. In the penalty shots, France kicked the ball, and the goalie thought it was going to go over there. He misdirected it, and it went over there, right in the net.
Amazing. So a little bit of, what do you call that? Like strategy?
Yeah.
And a little bit of the goalie trying to make and skill. Absolutely. So you understand at 7 that these are very high level athletes that have done this for a very long time, right?
Yes.
So in your opinion, what does it take for an athlete to play at a very high level? You mentioned skill.
Yeah.
You mentioned strategy.
Yeah.
And you mentioned they have to lift heavy weights
Yeah.
or train hard. Yeah. Anything else come to mind?
Like, wow, they must train a lot for like a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. They train a lot and for a long time. And one last one. How about when you meet these athletes? What's it like for you? What are they like? Are they good people? Are they superheroes? Like, what are they like when you walk up to some of the athletes that you've had the opportunity to meet and be around?
Like good people.
Good people? What do you mean? Like, explain.
Like they're nice.
They're nice. They look out for you when you're around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I think that's really important is that they are people, aren't they?
Yeah.
They don't have superpowers, do they?
No.
Okay, so they have the opportunity to play a sport for a living. Do
Yeah.
most of them look like they enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And then they work pretty hard at it, right?
Yes.
Amazing. So, life as an athletic therapist, any interest on your side to be an athletic therapist?
I kind of want to be an engineer.
This is a good choice. Okay, perfect. Not at this
Not
point in
really.
time, but lots of exposure to sport, lots of opportunities to invest time and energy and learning and watching people do a thing at a very high level, right? Which is inspirational for all of us.
Yeah.
So I'll express my gratitude for you taking some time out of your day to be on the podcast this afternoon. Anything you want to say to the audience?
No, I don't think so.
You think so? You think you said it all?
Yeah.
Life as an athletic therapist. 10 minutes with our little guy, 7 years old and not going to be an athletic therapist, but lots of
Nope.
exposure. And I think it's really important to talk about the home life and talk about the things that we sacrifice or choose or opt into in our careers when we choose the path to help others and to be involved in high level sport. Opportunities that don't always feel like they make room for family. But I think at this point in my career and our career, as we check into balance, as we check into gratitude and opportunity, bringing these two facets of life together in the same space has been unbelievable in the last couple of years. The opportunities that we've had to share together on the field, on the sidelines, in the benches, and around the training paradigm or the sport performance space. So again, I really appreciate it. This is Let's Chat. Make sure that you check out WFAT. The World Congress is coming up in Tel Aviv. That's in May. They've just announced their unofficial lineup of speakers. We will be there in Tel Aviv in May, delivering live podcast sessions, broadcast sessions from the World Congress. We look forward to your feedback, to hearing about your experiences in the profession, your story, your path, and our community together. Thanks so much for listening. We will talk again soon.
Bye.
Thanks again for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of this community. Check us out online, firststartherapy.com. That's FIRSTAR therapy.com. Or email us with feedback, consult@firststartherapy.com, CONSULT@firststartherapy.com, on Instagram @firststar.therapy, and our podcast host @letschat.at. This is First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy podcast.